Welcome back to the Over the Top podcast. I'm Nick.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Juan.
How the fellas doing this week?
Yeah, that was like the 9th time we started this podcast. I just want to put that out there.
9 times a charm.
You feel me? He said, how was our 2 weeks? I haven't seen you in dumb long.
We had 2 weeks off. We don't know how to podcast anymore.
It was a summer break. Summer break? Spring break?
Our producer Kenny went on strike for 2 weeks. We had to sweeten the deal. We evened out the contract.
It was part of the writer's strike. I know it was just empty. We ain't got nothing to talk about.
We had to figure out the budget, allocate some of the money.
As you can see, Val is no longer with us.
We just couldn't afford him. You know what I'm saying?
He was inflating the cost too much.
He's gonna watch this. Actually, he's not gonna see it because he'll be watching the podcast.
The first week of layoffs.
The first one he watched was the first one he was on. He's like, y'all not gonna lie, it's so entertaining. I'm like, what?
All right.
Oh my God.
Let's get into it because, as we know,
damn, I'm not gonna lie. When we take time off, we be a little too. You know what I'm saying?
And as you say,
right back to what was it? 187 Brink.
187 Brink.
Was that the address?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I'm up here with it.
Yeah.
That was the address for sure.
Yeah, back to that house though, for real.
Yeah, back to the house.
You know what's funny? 5 years
Val wasn't part of that either.
Damn, Juan is taking real shots.
Nah, I'm kidding.
5 years ago, yesterday we moved out. Derek sent it to me on Snapchat.
Wow,
yeah,
that's crazy.
That's crazy.
We're getting old over here.
20th? Yeah, shit's gross.
We're getting old and we're getting better.
We are.
But anyway,
and Waza,
of course,
I can't wait till I start getting the salt and pepper. They be tight.
They're not ready.
Are they?
But anyway.
Facts.
It's been a while, so a lot has happened in the past couple of weeks since we last spoke, so to speak. Big result in the Champions League.
Oh, I'd also like to say I think I was right when I said Arsenal failed because they officially don't have the title. So as of yesterday.
Okay, we can start with that.
No, we don't have to. I'm just saying I was right.
yeah, but I was also I predicted Man City to win Champions League. So
I mean,
they haven't won yet.
Yeah, that's true.
That's like saying I predicted. You know what I'm saying?
It was obvious. It was just an obvious statement. It was gonna happen, right?
You know?
No, to be fair, I thought Madrid did have it, and based on some of their earlier performances,
Madrid,
seeing them run it back,
we talking
wouldn't
about
have surprised me. Yeah, in the Champions League,
that hurt me. That win. I'm getting I'm losing reasons to say Manchester City's not a real team.
No, I mean
fast.
The first leg was a good game, finished with a 1-1 tie, and the second leg this past week, City won 4-0.
That's the correct score. Yeah.
Yeah, that was, and for me, it was a surprising result. I know other people were kind of mentioning that they could see City kind of blitzing Madrid, but I never would have thought. But City at home has been so good this season,
fast. So I like it. I can't lie.
Doesn't surprise me.
It's just Pep, I saw something. I think that he's won 11 out of the 14 last seasons he's been part of, the league, which is insane. That win percentage is, as a manager, that's ridiculous. But no, I mean the thing is with the
no Champions League in that time
at all.
But hey, maybe this year.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully not.
But the thing is with City, they started off really strong and pressing Madrid very, very high up the field. It reminded me of when Pep was at Barca and they used that strategy of basically just that very high press intensity. I think he just was all right, I'm gonna implement something similar to that and let's go with it and let's see how it works out. And it ended up being, I didn't expect City to be able to press the whole entire game like that, but they were very impressive. The game before that, City had to basically play all their starters and they had 1 day less of rest because Madrid played on Saturday and Madrid sat out all their starters because they didn't need to start them because they're not in competition to win the league because we all know Barca won that. So I thought Madrid would have that upper edge and be able to like have like more energy and more well rested. But hey, I got proved wrong. Like City really did their thing at that point. So
yeah, and I think we kind of spoke about kind of like Arsenal and their inexperience, something about City being so successful over the past couple of years. I think you kind of see that they have the experience of knowing like when to peak in a season. When Arsenal, it seems like they kind of flamed out towards the end and they were looking tired in a lot of performances.
I mean,
City seems like they're playing their best football now.
I mean, it goes down to squad depth. Like we've spoken about this
course.
before, but
I mean, yeah, it is big, but at the same time, we also saw Leicester win a league with not exactly a huge squad.
11. They barely made subs.
Yeah, they
they had the same lineup a lot that year.
Yeah, but they weren't as possession based as I guess some of the winners we've seen in and around them, the years around them. But yeah, City to the final. Do we have a prediction if they?
I'm taking Inter Milan. I'm hoping they lock that shit down in true Serie A fashion and sneak one in.
We'll see. Well, so speaking of the other game, it was AC Milan, Inter Milan.
yes.
And as we now know, Inter Milan went through and are now in the final. Did you guys see that result coming?
No. I thought it was going to be AC Milan going through.
Yeah. Especially with the first leg, Rafael.
I think I picked them last podcast.
You did, okay. But Rafael Leao is like the X factor for AC Milan. They don't really, it's a completely different team without him.
Mm-hmm.
So him starting the second leg, I thought I could see AC Milan maybe
Turning it around.
Yeah, more of a push, but Inter played well. They took their chance well. Lautaro, a player that I'm not particularly big on, he's played well in the last two legs. So if he keeps that form into the final, a final's one game. Anything can happen. As we saw Chelsea beat City 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, that was like the most
City
boring
was
final.
probably the better team throughout the season and whatnot. So
Let's go Inter, bro.
let's go Inter. Now,
I was going to wear blue and white sneakers today for that. I forgot.
Light blue and white,
No.
or dark blue and white.
Like that exact blue, black, and white.
Yeah. I mean, I think Inter just played like more defensive. I mean, they didn't like play too defensive, which was surprising. They were still going after that first goal. The second leg, I thought it was gonna be way more of a defensive game, but it kind of opened up.
I feel like everybody thought it was just going to be boring.
Yeah, two legs that were just like two Italian sides going at it. But yeah, Rafael Leao being out that first leg, I think really hurt AC Milan. Even though, I mean, AC Milan still has Giroud, but like he's still, you're a little French boy over there.
Jesus Christ. Damn.
Nah, but clearly not enough to get past Inter. And yeah, they'll probably have to regroup a little bit in the summer, try to add to the squad. But I mean, good for Italian soccer. It looks like AC Milan and Inter Milan are heading in the right direction. Whether they can keep some of those players there this summer, I know Rafael Leao is signing a new contract until 2028, so that's big. Them being able to keep like one of their biggest talents in the league. But I'm also hearing that Lautaro Martinez might have a release clause around $70 million.
That's not that bad.
So, yeah, when you have Chelsea mulling around, just, throwing money at whoever's taking it.
You think they're going to buy more people after $600 million spent and nothing to show for it?
The sad part is, yes, I do.
They'll probably get rid of half their team, considering.
Jeez.
Yeah.
They're literally just playing FIFA.
It's going to be a sale. Definitely a Chelsea sale this summer.
They're just treating it like manager mode.
Unlimited.
That's probably what happened with
money.
Todd Bowley.
I think so.
He probably played FIFA with his son one day.
Yeah, he's like, I can do this.
Why don't I just buy a team? But
Only $3 billion? Oh, that's easy.
Glazers apparently just pushed back their decision to sell the club. Or they're considering it. Can't stand them, yo.
Nah, they're not selling nothing.
I hate them.
They'll be here. They're not going on.
I knew they weren't gonna sell when the Saudi guy was like, "Bro, I will pay off the debt and buy the club," and they're like, "Let me think about it."
Yeah, let me think about it. Right. Yeah. But anyway,
Sucks
moving
us
away
up.
from the Champions League, a bunch of Europe's top 5 leagues already have their league champions. So starting in England, we now know City has completed a three-peat. They have 5 league titles in the last 4 years.
They're not Michael Jordan.
And this dominance, it really, in this league, the only team I can really think of is like Manchester United. It kind of takes me back to those days where,
Hate to say it.
it was kind of inevitable at a point where, but it's well deserved. They have a good squad. They play an entertaining brand of football, and they won the games they were supposed to. So,
And Arsenal didn't. That's very important to me. They really just gave that season away. That's crazy to me.
yeah, I feel like in like title winning seasons, you have certain games that you just pull out that you like. How did they win that game? And I forgot who they were playing, but Arsenal, I think they were down 2-0, and they were like 96
Tied at
minute.
3-3.
No, this one they actually won.
Oh,
3-2 or something?
Yeah, it was like Reece Nelson, just like a left-footed shot, top of the box volley.
I think when that happened, I was like, okay, they have what it takes to win it.
Right.
I think
After was
that's an
like, okay,
idea.
This is just like
Yeah.
a higher power. Like they have to win this league. So
So it's like God said they're gonna win it.
seeing them fumble, it's tough.
Oh, it wasn't tough. It was just like you should have won it.
I mean, you could
But as
also
a
argue.
hater,
You could also argue that City won it pretty comfortably. I mean, there's still 3 games left in the season for City, and they already have it won. So
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like one of those title races that it really comes down to like.
I
the
mean, with
last-
Holland, Bournemouth would have won the title. Like this guy is wilding.
No, that's not true. Because
We'll see.
Holland has the service, like Bournemouth doesn't.
Oh no, yeah, De Bruyne be pinging them in.
And not only De Bruyne, Gundogan has arguably had the best season of his career this year.
Yeah,
Bernardo
that's
Silva is killing it too. Like they have
true.
players.
Even Jack
that,
Grealish is like coming
Yeah.
along. at
Yeah,
the
no,
right
he's
time.
actually playing well
Yeah.
somehow.
so the fact that Jack Grealish really took Phil Foden out of the lineup
Jackie
and
boy.
hasn't really. I mean, Phil Foden was getting pretty consistent minutes at the beginning of the season, but
You think he's gonna skate?
who Phil Foden?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Isn't he academy product? Yeah.
Oh, so he got
Homegrown
to
player, yeah.
City as a
Probably stick
homegrown
around.
player. Jesus, I'm old. What's going on?
Yes,
Yeah.
they do exist
But
for
it's
City.
I don't know what it is about Pep. I feel like he always just finds a way to keep the team fresh by like always changing his ideas, giving them new ideas. We're like, this time last year, I would have told you like João Cancelo is probably like the most important player on their team and so important to their play style. And now you have someone like John Stones, who's like a
John
fake
Stones.
center defensive midfielder, and they're playing with like almost like it's like 4 center backs,
Yeah.
right, in their back line. So, you have to give Pep a lot of credit, where he's always just thinking forward and
He's a tactician.
giving
Yeah.
different ideas to the game. So,
I mean, that's what's made him so great the last
course.
like 15 years.
yeah,
So.
it's almost just everyone else is just playing catch up in a sense. And at this rate, who's catching him?
Nobody.
We'll see.
Yeah, because De Bruyne
Ten
is.
Hag.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Imagine 15 years from now, we're like, yo, man, who's catching him?
That would be nice.
oh my god.
Brandon.
I would hit the pod with Brandon when Man U is like winning league titles.
Yeah, we should have started this shit when I was in 2nd grade. That would have been a fucking pod.
Nah, but I don't know why. Part of me feels like even though Arsenal had such a great season, like I only trust Jurgen Klopp to like stop this dominance from City.
Really?
Yeah, Liverpool, if they could bring in like the right pieces this summer, they have a young attack and a lot of players up there, but maybe solidify that midfield and parts of the defense.
You got a lot of faith in the Scousers. I think this is the start of their inevitable downfall.
I think that Arsenal, if they have a good transfer window, like pick up 2-3 good new pieces, I think that I could see Arsenal possibly, I wouldn't say winning the league, but competing
Making
for
another
it,
charge
like
for it.
top 4, like closer. I also am really, really interested to see what Chelsea does next season, because I feel like they're gonna come back like a completely different team, after like this year was like.
Do you think Frank Lampard is the guy to do that though?
I mean, I think he's just right now just like basically interim manager.
They literally
right
hired him because like they needed someone, and they know
nobody else wants to be in this position right now.
You can't get relegated, and you can't make the Champions League, so they literally need just like a warm body until the season ends.
Yeah, they need somebody.
A warm body is crazy.
I mean, it's essentially what they did.
I feel you.
But yeah, just speaking of Arsenal,
that's just the worst warm body.
If they can go, if they can get the midfielder from Brighton that they went for in the summer, Caicedo, I think that'd be a huge pickup for them to possibly replace Xhaka, who's apparently going to Leverkusen to play for Xabi Alonso. So if they could just replace him with like Caicedo, maybe someone else to help out Partey, because he seems to be kind of injury prone. And for me, I've been talking a lot about it. I feel like Arsenal needs a new striker.
Yeah.
Where I just don't trust Gabriel Jesus to be like a title winning striker. And
I see why you say that.
At the start of the season, it seemed like he was in good form. Not that he was scoring too many goals, but the team was flying.
Mm-hmm.
And, it kind of, at the time, it was begging the question, why would Pep let him leave? But as the seasons went on, I'm starting to see why he did, and almost in the sense like he just doesn't have like that killer instinct for me to be like the starting center forward on like a title winning team. Because there was a few games once he came back, I felt like he had a couple of good chances in the games where you needed like, if you want to win the title, you need like that forward who's going to put those chances in. Haaland, when you have your
Van Persie,
Robert Van Persie's, exactly, Aguero's, even Chelsea with the Diego Costa at the time.
Oh, throwback! Wow,
Fernando Torres.
Yeah,
I remember when we went to England, I thought like Costa Coffee was his.
But speaking of players to pick up for Arsenal, they were actually looking at Kim Min-jae from Napoli, their center back. So I think that's one of the positions that they struggled in after Saliba got hurt. They didn't really have that center back pairing that they had at the beginning of the season, which made them like so successful. So I think a pickup like that. I know Manchester United is also interested in him too as well. So he's only 26. I mean, he led Napoli to the title this year, so I think he's a very solid player. Interested to see
where he ends up.
Where he ends up, yeah. South Korean, so those people.
South Korea.
They really battle, I mean, isn't South Korean national team hard to play against? You know what I mean? They might not have the best talent.
I don't know actually.
They always have like,
they're always at the major tournaments. So
yeah,
got to give them that credit.
I know Japan is tough, and the women are tough.
Yeah, but sticking on Napoli, just it's been a foregone conclusion for a while, but they officially won the league. So congratulations to them. It's cool to see a different team win Serie A. In the last 3 years, 3 different teams have won that league, so that's been pretty cool, going from Inter Milan, AC Milan, and now Napoli. So it's kind of cool to see like Juventus dominance finally come to an end. So, I mean, of course, Juventus will be back for a title charge next year, but yeah, it's definitely nice to see.
Good to see somebody else win it.
Yeah.
Scudetto.
yeah.
And of course, we talked about it before, so we really won't go over too much, but just them trying to keep that team together will be the biggest thing for them, because they have so many assets that can be sold for like
a lot
good money. When you just bring up Kim, Osimhen, Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah, however you pronounce that.
You knew I was gonna butcher that one, but
all that combined is like 250 million to 300 million. So Yeah, definitely a lot of money. And then obviously, I hate to say this, but congratulations to Barca winning the league too.
Yeah, I saw that one.
So I mean, it was an easy win for them. They're, I think, 11 points behind. I mean, I don't even know if Madrid at this point is even going to finish in second. They got Atletico Madrid right behind them, but I mean, who cares if you
they better worry about it. They don't got. Well,
Yeah.
it don't really matter.
You know, it's so interesting to me that when I think of Messi and Ronaldo and how they've kind of been such a big piece to Barcelona and Real Madrid for like 10 years plus, and how when they left, the teams were able to just kind of rebound fairly quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like within 1 or 2 years, Barca was able to win the league again. Madrid was able to win the league and Champions League again. So, yeah, just, that's why we talk about it all the time. Madrid and Barca are just two of the best run clubs in the world. I mean, Barca obviously with their financial issues, but just sporting wise, being able to recruit the right players and have the right managers in charge. But yeah, definitely cool to see when you see a player who was like such an important player for a team eventually become the manager and it goes successfully, as opposed as we're watching Frank Lampard like be in charge of Chelsea for like the third time and still have 10 wins under his belt. So yeah, shout out to Xavi, and I want to say thank you to Busquets, who's leaving.
Sergio, yeah, that's crazy.
He was the last piece of what was probably my favorite midfield of all time, of Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets, and
that is one of the greatest
just-
midfields ever.
just a classy player through and through. I remember the first time I watched him play. I mean, not only just because he looks like he's 45. It was that
He moves like he's 45.
that 08 Champions League
Efficiently,
final,
though.
and watching him play against Manchester United. At the time,
Former
I thought
United
he
player.
was like, oh, what is this guy, like 33 years old? Just the way he plays, so calm and like collective, and that was even him as like close to being a youth player. And yeah, he's just been
Nah, yeah, to be fair, he did look like that when I saw him as like a
Yes,
youth
I
player
mean-
at United.
Yeah.
just classy through and through. One of those players you never heard anything bad about him off the pitch. He's won everything you could win in soccer, so
I'm excited.
hopefully he
though.
joins the Red Bulls.
I'm excited.
Wait, wasn't he married to Shakira?
No,
Is that
that's
somebody?
PK.
Oh, PK.
Yeah. I'm excited though for Barca's new midfield though, because I really think that Frankie De Jong has really been kind of like in the shadow at this point.
Frank.
Like he hasn't shown his full potential and ability. I mean, he has obviously, but not consistently. There's a bunch of times where he was coming off the bench and wasn't getting consistent minutes, but I feel like now is his time to really prove like how good he actually is. And obviously Pedri and Gavi,
Well,
like that midfield is going to be there for a while. So
That's the interesting part as well, though, because I think Xavi came out recently kind of talking about wanting to buy a pivot, and I guess maybe not exactly trusting Frankie De Jong to be in that position the entire season. We know he can play in any of the three midfield positions, but I know they're linked to Zubimendi from Sociedad. Who's had a really good season, but he's also an academy player from there, and I think he's mentioned that like he would have no problem staying there, especially with Sociedad having Champions League football next year. So, but it's Barca, it's all they could seduce any player they want. So,
I'm more associate that with Madrid. The seducing any player they want thing.
really, I'm giving that to Barca and Madrid. I think
with the history
for a
and
lot
everything.
of players, especially Spanish, South American, when Madrid or Barca come calling, it's like
You can't
even
say
most
no.
Yeah,
of the
that's
clubs,
fair.
the clubs they're at, the managers that are coaching them currently are
They're
like,
like,
well,
"Yo, go,
we get
bro."
it. Like, I
If
probably
you don't go, you're kind of
when
crazy.
when they get to the club, they ask them like, "What's your dream?" And they expect them to say, "Oh, win a Champions League at this club." And the players are probably like, the Brazilian players are probably like, "Play for Real Madrid."
I don't care if I win a trophy there or not, or play, but
Like, if winning that trophy helps me get to Madrid, absolutely.
Exactly. So
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if Rodri ended up at Barca at one point of his career. If he wins like Champions League at Man City, he might just be like, all right, like I kind of want to go back and play in Spain, and he would most likely end up at Barca because I mean Madrid really got
Man.
like all their players that they really need for their midfield, especially because they got Jude now, Camavinga,
Jude.
and
that'd be
Chumendi.
a
So
great pickup.
I'm happy
But
he
only
went to
for,
Madrid.
I mean,
I really feel like he
guess-
plays like that Barca style too,
Oh,
you know,
for
because
sure,
it's Spain
for
national
sure.
team too. So
yeah, no, that league's gonna be very interesting next year.
a lot of
Especially
young
considering,
talent.
Atletico is also ending the season
Very
in,
strong.
Yeah, in a very good manner. You know, might possibly end up in second, even though, you know, the season
Is over.
The season's over, but I keep going back and forth as someone who like really enjoys Atletico for some weird reason. Like whether Simeone should stick around.
you just don't like
or-
real soccer, right?
I mean, I played soccer.
I'm crying.
No, I'll give
we're
it
gonna
to you though. Atletico.
about to say, he's just.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bleep that.
Do we know how to bleep?
Yeah, we know.
I want to make sure.
Now Brand's gonna
Well,
start
we're
saying
not-
wild shit.
But we're not.
I mean, if we know how to bleep, I might just get it off and have us clean it up when we can clean it up.
we can believe it.
Shit. Let's talk about some shit. I did. I will chime in when needed.
Yeah, but at least with Atletico, just you know, I keep going back and forth whether they should stick or twist when it comes to Simeone because obviously he's, you know, before he got there, they were nowhere near the title, and having two in the last 10 years and 2 Champions League Finals appearances, it's hard to kind of say, you know, Simeone out.
Especially when you're competing against Madrid and Barca, you know,
That's
it's
the
like
thing. Like, you kind of got to take everything he does with a grain of salt because it's like.
it's kind of like, all right, if he was in the Prem, maybe one of those seasons. Nah, City would have
And
won
then also,
anyways.
you
but-
got to think, like, I'm trying to attract players with Barca and Madrid in the league.
Yeah.
Like, I have to go for players that know they have no business playing for Barca and Madrid.
Right, but there's the thing. Sometimes you can attract a player with like a play style.
True.
You know, there's different things to attract a player. If Barca Madrid is in the league, it's gonna be hard to attract a player being we're successful, like we win. You know, I think that's enough to get us to a lot of places. I know that brought me to where I ended up going to school. Them, you know, being able to sell the fact that they're winners and they're winning.
That worked on me too.
Yeah,
I got
so,
like
you know, when you're used to
articles
winning and you wanna
every
win,
week
of
about like
course.
top goal scorer, and I'm like,
Boom.
this is nice.
So it'll be difficult. You can't really go that route playing in La Liga. So the other route I would say is probably play style. You would think, you know, if I grew a certain style, I'm more comfortable in the system. That's gonna kind of maximize my best qualities and minimize the ones, you know, maybe I'm not so good at. Maybe like, you know, my right foot because I'm very heavily left-footed. You know, that'll.
Is this just like a hypothetical right now? No, I'm asking.
No, that's a true story. But anyway,
Yo,
so that's why I
guy's
was
left
thinking
foot
maybe
is for
bringing in-
standing alone.
Maybe. Listen, I scored more goals with my left foot than my right foot.
What does that say about you?
But how many shots did you take with your left? How many shots did you take with your right?
That's what I'm saying. If we get into the numbers, you might not want to check that.
If you really want to break it down to statistics wise,
No, you don't want to boil that one down. That's going to be a surface stat for you. We gotta deep into that one.
I remember you had 3 of the same.
All right, anyway, so bringing it back to Atletico Madrid and Simeone. I'm saying, they've been playing very attractive soccer over the last ever since they came back from the World Cup. So I think it was like 15 games. They lost last weekend, but before that, the only time they lost was a 1-0 loss to Barca.
Yeah.
They played very well that game. So it does seem like he's changing his style a little bit, where
So
they're being a little more attractive. And they scored a lot of goals in that game. They had a lot of big wins. So if he can kind of continue on that trend, I'd love for him to stick around. But if that's not
I'd like to see him stay.
the future, I'd like to see if they could poach someone like a Luis Enrique. I think that'd be big.
Where does he go next? If he
Because
Chelsea?
they're probably gonna get Nagelsmann. No, Pochettino. Excuse
Yeah, I
me.
think they already got him, didn't they?
Yeah.
But
But-
basically, Atletico thrived when João Felix left.
Yeah, they did.
That's fair.
Which makes sense when you consider who's in charge. So if you have like a player, that's why Atletico buying João Felix. It's so interesting how they came across that, how he thought it'd be a good idea to go there with like their play style. He doesn't really suit the club, and if you're gonna invest that much in a player, you would think you try to make a style that supports him,
that fits them. Yeah.
I mean, if Luis Enrique went there, it'd be probably more of a style,
different. Yeah, but as you can see, certain players fit certain systems, and Griezmann, since João Felix has left, Griezmann has, I think, 10 plus goals, 10 plus assists in the season. Definitely La Liga comeback player of the year.
I was gonna say stuff opened up for him, I guess.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's
João Felix, isn't he going back at the end of the season though?
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. They definitely won't recoup anywhere near what they paid for him. I think it was near 120 or 140 million dollars. Not getting that money for him now, but
they could probably still get 80 or 70.
I feel like 70 is a good number. If you could get 70 plus for João Felix,
that's decent.
Atletico probably taking that money.
He's still young. That's what he got. He's got that youth on his side. So
yeah,
and he probably could be like, he could be the face of Portugal in the next. Him and Leao can be like the face of Portugal for like the next 5 years.
I was gonna say 5, 10
years, 5-10 years. So,
excuse me.
Yeah, Portugal.
If all goes well.
Yeah, Portugal has a squad. You feel for someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, who kind of had to play through the lean years, and then all this talent is bubbling up like while he's on the way out. But
yeah, that's kind of rough.
But
he did justice to the national side while he was,
course, 200 appearances, most goals in international soccer history. I mean,
bro, I saw a top 10 list the other day.
Do?
Speaking of that left off the original Ronaldo.
Top 10 what?
So a top 10 players list that left off the original Ronaldo the other day. That just reminded me, and I was like taken aback. Tell me,
what's like the thing for me with the original Ronaldo is I never really like went to watch too much of him.
Oh, I seen the
and
tapes.
His like best years were like before my time. So like my respect for him is mainly like people that I respect their opinions on soccer.
Really respect
have
him.
Very high opinions of him.
That's what made me go back and watch tape.
Yes, but I don't.
He's up there.
My guy.
I don't know. The list I saw though had Pele 1, Maradona 2, Messi 3, Ronaldo 4, Cristiano, Johan Cruyff 5, Zidane 6, Beckenbauer 7, Di Stefano 8, Platini 9, Ronaldinho 10.
Ronaldinho cracking a top 10.
As he should. I'm dead ass. Why would he not? He what?
I feel like he had a short-lived prime.
You bugging.
Or maybe just coming in our era, I'm so used to like someone dominating for so long as like Messi and Ronaldo did.
Yeah, that's not normal.
I forget that like you might just have 3 really, really incredible years and
then a couple
rest, really
average years.
Yeah.
Don't ever forget he brought Barcelona back to relevancy and was basically Messi's vet.
Messi's vet, yeah. Could you imagine Messi was more like Ronaldinho?
That'd be lit.
Messi just like partied all the time.
That'd be so lit.
He probably wouldn't be as good or last as long.
He would have like.
I mean, be as good, maybe not, but like last as long, probably not.
Damn, I was gonna get my Messi take off.
Get your shit off, bro.
That nigga's autistic, bro.
Yeah. What makes you say that though?
Nah, but not as a joke. There's like a little thing online where people like genuinely believe he's autistic. There's like 5-minute videos of people just like showing signs of him being like socially awkward. He's honestly just socially awkward.
Yeah.
He's just like a weird guy.
That's the funny part because like me speaking I actually speak a little bit of Spanish. For those of you who know, but
couldn't even say that with a straight face. You didn't believe that.
Anyway, watching like just like his body language in a lot of interviews and interacting with his teammates, he does seem like definitely like something's a little off about him.
Yeah, no, he's
the
weird.
way he operates.
I mean, he just seems like a quiet guy.
Yeah,
he's really good at like one thing and everything else. You're mad weird, bro. Like, why are you the way you are? He's like, Like he probably likes weird food combinations and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Messi, like, why do you eat mustard on your clams? Like, it's fire. I know what you're talking about. Does everybody not do that? I just feel like he's one of those people.
Yeah,
he's like the antithesis of like the
he
superstar.
probably eats like the same thing every day.
Yeah,
he probably eats like just like chicken and peas and like a
for real, like brown rice, a chicken breast, and like he might switch up the vegetables if he's feeling spicy. Like, I did green beans instead of broccoli today. We gonna have a good one.
Yeah, no, I mean, one day when like the real Messi doc comes out, I can't wait to watch it and kind of get like a better insight into him.
The worst person ever.
That would be so funny if he was like Jordan.
But how did it
practice? Like, man,
I mean, I think we would.
I was gonna say, like, how would it not get out? You know,
something would have gotten out by now.
Like somebody leaves bars says, like, yo, by the way, I hate that.
Yeah. I feel like wherever he goes, he's just like so low. I mean, he doesn't really talk. You know what I'm saying? It seems like
that's the thing. He
quiet ass dude that like just
goes home.
Yeah. It's kind of like it doesn't really.
He's probably like a serial killer.
Says the right things. He says all the right things in the press conference and then just goes home.
He's probably a serial killer, bro.
Yeah.
Or like, you know what I'm saying? He got something shady. You got to check like the crimes in Barca for like the last 15 years. There's like a recurring one that they haven't solved. Might be messy.
I think if anything, that's kind of why, like at least in Argentina, they didn't like show him as much love until he won the World Cup, where a lot of their stars in the past, especially like your Maradonas of the world, like they had a lot personality.
Yeah.
Whereas Messi was
he wasn't like he didn't have that
the
like
best player in the world, like
South American
he's the best
flame
player in the
to
world,
him.
or actually not even like in the Ronaldo sense, but yeah, they had like a lot of flair.
Yeah, the most South American he ever is when he's playing soccer.
Yeah,
off the field he's just like, hey, you know,
you don't
but
really.
Even his play style is like very effective. You know, it's not like he does like
crazy fun.
extra. You know, put the extra on it just to, you know.
He doesn't give any Anthony spins. Tell you that much.
But that's not really an Argentinian thing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like.
But no.
More
Also, like the
Brazilian.
flair, definitely
your
flair.
Maradonas, your Riquelmes. No,
they had the flair. They definitely had the flair.
That, like, yeah,
back in the days
with that sauce, so to speak.
Even Di Stefano just had him. He was a little saucy.
I know Barca's really pushing for him to come back, so let's see what happens.
Which is
corny.
I get why they would do it from like a financial standpoint, but
they're poor though.
Exactly. But
I
don't think it's a really great idea. I feel like we kind of just watched that happen with Ronaldo. Yeah. Kind of going back to your old club.
I think it'd be better for Messi though.
Does like Rafinha leave though?
I don't know exactly. Rafinha has played some good stuff this season.
Yeah, but like, what are they gonna do with it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
just get rid
of one of your Ferran Torres, Ansu Fati, or Rafinha. These guys.
I mean, Ansu Fati.
Go to United and then you bring in Messi.
You want Ansu Fati?
It works.
That's a better question. Would you want Ansu Fati?
I'd take him
for $60 million. Would you take him
for 60? Yeah.
Really?
He just hasn't gotten like minutes like that this year.
For 60, yeah.
Hasn't really proven himself.
You're willing to take that risk, even though
it's not that much money.
I feel like you're very forward heavy.
80
right
on Harry Maguire. I'd pay 60 for him.
But so obviously Rashford's going to start in your front line, right?
Yeah.
That's basically.
You're not playing Ansu Fati as your center forward, are you?
Nope. We can let Marshall
so he's coming off the bench.
Fernandez,
walk on out the door if he'd like.
Oh, he will. You have to push him out.
He can just.
No, don't let him walk out the door.
He can scoot out. Marshall can just. You know.
So that leaves one more wing spot. So you're giving that to Fati over like a Jadon Sancho, Anthony, and an Amad Diallo.
Is he back? Is he coming back? If he's back, that changes a lot.
I mean, you would want him back after that.
I want him to call him back, but we don't have smart people running the club. I mean, if he's back, Anthony still shouldn't play, but that he should start.
Shouldn't play.
Diallo should start.
$90 million bench player.
He needs to show me why he should play.
$290 million, right?
He needs to show me why he should play.
Yeah.
What did he do this season to say like, oh no?
They turned into Madrid with Hazard.
He had like a couple flashes of brilliance, but it's like a lot of nothing.
Yeah, but
it's just a lot of nothing. Just a lot of.
He's still getting adjusted to the league. We'll say.
I don't know how much that has to do with decision making and not being able to make a forward pass or not putting a cross in properly or fucking ever. Like I'm hungry. My bad. That was crazy. But yeah, I don't know. He's just not. He needs to have a big summer. Like he needs to get himself to be an effective winger. I still don't like the way he plays on the wing. I don't think it lends itself to getting out like in behind somebody on the wing.
Yeah, he seems more of like a Bernardo Silva type.
Yeah, he's like
wing, not really like running.
He's not sprinting down the line. That's not his bag.
Not at all. But I still think he could be an effective player. But
I think he needs to put the work in for that.
Yeah.
Like you're at a big club. Like really show me something. Don't just be like I'm nice and go vacation. Like really put the work into something. I want to see something different in him next year.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see that. But speaking of the summer, I wanted to ask you guys about kind of like our surprise team of the year in the Premier League, Newcastle, coming up on.
I'm nervous about their summer.
Yeah, so who do you think they should go for this summer? Like who would add to their team? Do you think? Are you looking at like now's the time? Let's break the bank, or do you think maybe?
I mean, they have
smaller
the bank
signings,
to break.
or because me personally, I feel like they're in a great position to really pick up some of those best players on the relegated team. Where I think a player like James Maddison, especially if Leicester get relegated, he'd be a bargain. And I know they actually mentioned João Felix to
go there.
Yeah, but he's like one of the ones I feel like they should stay away from.
Yeah,
but finding like the way they've been recruiting, I feel like getting one of those like James Maddisons from a relegated Leicester. There's also Tielemans on Leicester, Ward Prowse on Southampton. But is there any like I guess bigger stars that you guys think? Because I know Paulo Dybala has a. It's so odd for Premier League teams this summer. He has a $10 million release clause. So
10?
Yeah, it's 10 or 15.
Damn.
But it's like specifically for Premier League teams.
Okay.
Oh, because they know that they got money.
I guess. I don't know what his agent was slipped into the contract, but
I mean, I feel like Newcastle doesn't have the power, or they don't have like the attraction of like Madrid. You know what I'm saying? So they're not gonna get top player, but they can still get like a couple of really, really good players. You know?
I think they can sneak someone that like, oh wow, I didn't think he'd get them, but I don't think it'll be like an influx of like crazy talent.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they need necessarily.
No, I agree. I don't think like they have a style that's working. I don't think it's you bring in like a João Felix and have to kind of change your style to suit him at this point. You have to find more players that suit their like high pressing style.
Yeah.
I want to see what they'll do. This is a big summer for them.
Yeah.
They finished. They played well, very well. Finished in third. Have a Champions League spot to say, hey, you can play some serious football. Bring back a real team. I don't know.
The United secured the Champions. Oh, they needed just 1 point, right? 1 point in 2 games to secure the Champions League spot, right?
Yeah, I hope they can do it.
Would be pretty sad.
I really hope they can do it.
I don't see why not. But
can we talk about how everybody's going to Saudi Arabia? It's lit. I'm trying to go see the like old Legends League in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, who's next?
Isn't that where Busquets is going?
Who joined up? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, there was rumors of him going, but I don't know if he's actually going.
Well, I mean, Messi. It's like
didn't Messi get fined to go see what the word was over there?
Yeah. Okay. So we have to talk about Messi's little trip. You gotta talk about.
Never
Messi's
heard a Messi scandal in our life.
Right.
The sheik come knocking with some bread. Now he's skipping out on. I thought we had the day off. You've been a professional for this long. You don't know your schedule? I thought we had the day off. Son said, "Listen, I got 500 mil for you." He said, "Yo, I got 200 mil for you to come meet with me. Just meet with me." So, all right, listen. I'll be there on Monday. Okay. You don't say nothing else. I will be there.
Right. So for those of you that don't know, Messi
U4
was Messi got fined and suspended for a very short amount of time for missing a PSG practice because he went to Saudi Arabia for a couple of days. And as we know, Messi's contract at PSG is up in the summer, and there's rumors of him going to play in the Saudi league. Also rumors of, monopoly money, $500 million a year for him to play over there, which I think would have to be the biggest soccer contract ever, right?
It's $400 million a year.
I would go.
Something like that.
If it was off by 100 mil,
I'd go.
I mean, and I don't think that they pay taxes either.
What?
Yeah, I think that's actually a thing.
Yo, y'all trying to go just like scrimmage in front of the Saudis until they like, yo, I got a contract for
right.
Yeah, so it would be like $400 million
So
flat. It's not like half. He gets half of it.
If Messi's worth $400 million,
and
I
he
might
go
be able
get
to
a year
I might be
in
able to
1
get 50
year.
bands a year.
You
in Saudi
feel me?
Arabia.
I could go get something out there. Like I might could get them to match the salary I get now. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is, like,
Sheesh.
has Messi even made $400 million in contracts throughout his whole career?
Almost fucking.
So now you get me that much closer
But
to
maybe-
$1 billion. Good luck.
let's say maybe he made let's say, I don't know, $1 billion in contracts. No, probably less. But like, it's just ridiculous to me making that much money in just one season.
Yeah, this is one of those. I'll pose the question.
So, according to him, on and off the pitch total, he's earned $1.15 billion.
Okay, so he's gonna make, let's say, 40% of that in one season.
Damn.
So, this is one of those for love of the game questions, but I'll pose it to you because I know which side you always lean towards. But what do you do if you're Messi? Are you going back to Barca to try to win something you've already run before, or are you taking $400 million?
All right, so we already seen like a bunch of reports of like Ronaldo being unhappy in the Saudi league, and these players.
Happy everywhere.
Yeah. All right, but like,
When was
listen,
the last time he was happy?
hear me out.
He wasn't even happy at Madrid.
Bro, I'm so tired of him.
Yeah, but like, hear me out. The thing is, these players have so much money already. He makes just as much money off the field as on the field. They don't really need this money. You know what I mean? They don't need to. They don't need to go to the Saudi.
People like more money all the time. They just always want to get rich. That's
I
all
told
they
you.
think
When
about.
we're sleeping, they're thinking about how can I make more money?
How can I make more money? Like that. Nobody's ever made $1 million and be like, that's cool. That's it. I don't need another one. No one's ever made $1 million.
That is true, but like at
That's
a
like
certain
human
point,
nature.
you don't really need to. If you don't want to, you don't. Like
He
obviously,
doesn't need to be playing soccer right now.
Yeah,
He hasn't needed to play soccer in 10 years.
Yeah, but he enjoys where he's. I mean, I hope he enjoys where he's at. I don't know if he's.
Paris, where they're out there rioting and calling for his head and
I feel like Barcelona was his first home, and he wants to end his career there and be an ambassador of the company.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or you can go make $800 million in 2 years and go back to Barcelona.
The third year, bro. Like we could go back. It's not like we're moving to Saudi for good. We just
I just don't think he'll end up in Saudi Arabia.
That's why I say I know you always lean to the side.
If I could be a $2 billionaire instead of a $1 billionaire, I'm going.
You love the game,
and I like the heat.
Do it for the game, not for the money. But
let's
the
game.
Now posing you the same question. I think I know what side.
I'm going to Saudi as long as my legs work. 400 mil, not even. We're gonna do a 400 million contract for 5 years. 400 mil a year.
So then that's $2 billion for 5 years. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
And if at the end of 5, if I'm slowing down but I'm still moving, we'll negotiate it down to 200 for 6 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm reasonable.
If I'm still walking.
Yeah, if I'm still sprightly, 200 mil, 6 more years. What? If they're giving out the bag like that? And then think about how much money I'm making on Saudi endorsements now.
Oh, you're on every Saudi commercial.
Oh,
he's on every commercial.
But that's probably included somewhere in the contract. It's like, all right, we can use you for commercials. We can use you for whatever we want.
But like now I got the Saudi Lay's commercial. I'm on the Saudi Lay's bag. I'm on the Saudi Doritos bag. I'm on Saudi Irish Spring. Like what,
Irish.
bro? Don't let me be a figure in football and get that Saudi call. I'm rude. They gonna feel like when Oscar went to China. Like, oh, why are you doing that? Hey! You seen the contract? I love Oscar's response.
I gotta feed my family.
Will never be poor again. So like, what you saying is cool.
Yeah.
But like the poverty I grew up in, we're never gonna feel that again.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to him. I'm not mad at him for that.
Yeah, they come from a different place.
Gotta do what's best for you and your
Do what you
family.
gotta do. Shout out to my son Oscar out there in China.
So what do you think is gonna happen?
If the Saudi thing is real, I think he's strongly considering it. He wouldn't take a flight there for no reason. When the last time Messi vacationed in Saudi Arabia in the middle of the season?
I think if Messi wasn't considering going to Barca, he would already committed to going to Saudi.
So what do we think the flight was for? To Saudi.
The flight.
What are we speculating?
Huh?
What are we speculating the flight was for? Because he never said. He just said, "I thought we was on vacation." My bad.
I mean, the flight was obviously to negotiate maybe the contract and what would have been involved, but like.
Obviously.
The thing is, like, his heart's at Barca, you know. So it's like,
yeah. So I'm with you there. You know,
what if his heart is with his bank account?
I don't see Messi being that type of person.
Maybe, but I could also say, at this point of his career, I could.
Me too.
He's won every.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like, oh, he's 21.
I think the only thing
I'm up there.
He didn't win was like the French Copa del Rey. That was the only like competition he was in that he like didn't win. So
why not maximize what you can at the end? Live comfortably, leave some shit for your kids. You just cool out. Saudi's not a bad place. It's freaking warm.
Yeah,
nice heat.
No, I mean, I'm with you. I definitely feel like he's gonna end up at Barca.
I think he should give me a call.
If it's possible, I know like they're like kind of presenting to La Liga whether like it's financially feasible
or and fucking allowed.
Yeah. I do think he'll end up back at Barca. I don't love it, to be honest.
I think he should go to Saudi. If I was him, I'd go to Saudi. No question.
Yeah, I would love to see that fairy tale ending of like him lifting another title with Barcelona.
In Saudi Arabia. He could do that too.
Barcelona, like getting his flowers, him being like lifted off into the sunset as like Barca legends usually get, which, you know, something like that you love about the club, and why they call it more than a club. It's almost like a big family, especially for their biggest La Masia product ever. It'd be nice to see him like walk out the front door instead of the back. But
yeah, I feel like when he left,
I think
he didn't really get that praise, you know, like he deserved. Like
I mean, he didn't want to leave.
No, it was like an emergency meeting.
It was just kind of forced.
No one really. It was all like, wow, it looks like Messi. They might not get the shit done, but back of our head, we're like, no, there's no way. Like
Messi's leaving
Barcelona. And,
yeah,
you know, it's just one day you get that da-da-da, ESPN alert, and they're like, yeah, he's gone.
I think he should go. I would love to see Saudi Arabia become the Legends League. They just retire and go there and make a bag.
I would have loved MLS to become that.
I thought it was going to, but
I wish we had that type of bag, but
Saudi bag is different. That's the oil bag.
Yeah.
The oil bag is an endless bag. Yeah. We got here using that oil bag. We gave him a bag just to get here. I filled up before I got here. They make chicken, bro.
It's crazy.
Valencia, Real Madrid just started.
It's crazy.
Who's your pick, Juan?
I don't know. Valencia's battling relegation right now, so it might
they got something to play for.
Yeah, a little battle.
I mean, they've worked their way back up to like 14th, I believe.
Is it 14th?
But those numbers are tight. I think it's like the difference between like all the teams there is probably
they're in
like
16th, and they only have 37 points.
37 points. But how much does like the 13th place team have?
39.
Yeah, so it's like it's tight around there.
Shout out to sorry to cut you off.
Shout out to the 6.
Shout out to Sevilla. I feel like 3 weeks ago I was looking at the standings and I saw them in 18th place. They made their way up to 10th place right now, and they're in the Europa League final. they actually just beat Juventus in the semifinals.
They hit their stride, yo.
So actually, since April 1st, they've only lost one game, and they tied like 2 games, and the rest they won. So, like we talked about, like ending the season strong, like what City did, and like I think other than City, they're the most informed team right now. There's no other team that's in better form than them.
That's fair. You have been.
It is what it is, man. Death, taxes, and Sevilla being in the Europa League final.
I'm weak.
It's just what it is.
They just know how to get
it's so
there.
weird because they're like just a club that's like the worst good team. Where like they're not quite good enough to go far in the Champions League, but in the Europa League they're just like a class above the rest of the teams. So, but it's gonna be interesting to watch them go against Mourinho in a final because Mourinho knows how to like.
He doesn't lose, baby.
1-0 victory.
Park that bus, my boy.
You hear the bus.
Park that bus, my boy. Put that handbrake up.
But
It's out.
yeah, you were saying off camera earlier is that it was nice to see them like getting the most out of Lucas Ocampos again, someone that left on loan and then came
Brian
back.
Gill.
Yeah,
Was at
another player.
Tottenham, didn't really get any minutes. Comes to Sevilla, big impact. Getting consistent minutes. So some players are just like you were saying, like just meant to be and played in certain leagues. Like obviously, like you mentioned before, like players obviously want to get more money, and where the money is in the Premier League, but that might not be the best fit for their career wise.
And then that's when you go to
And-
Saudi.
Yeah, so many players. one of them that really comes to mind immediately was like Iago Aspas, where he went to Liverpool and
Didn't do well.
oh my gosh, it looked like he'd never played soccer before. And then once he went back to Celta, he was up there with like top 4 scorers in the league for like years running, and just such a big part of their team. So yeah, you have to just
Play style and manager really
huge.
is huge for, especially like when you've been playing in that same kind of like structure, same league for a very long while, like a long time. Like adapting to a new league is definitely 100% a thing. Like you've seen it time over time, players go into the Prem and like they don't really adapt too well until like 2-3 seasons in. I mean, Holland is just like a freak of nature, you know. I've never seen anything like that. But
You know, when you know who he reminds me of? When everyone says like they've never seen anything like that, he reminds me of. Do you guys remember Adriano?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like. I feel like a similar comparison, where they were like big, strong, fast, hammer of a left foot.
Yo.
Yeah, I don't know. He reminds me of Adriano when people say like, "Oh, like there's no one been like him." Like I'm like.
Yo, speaking of forgotten Brazilians,
he's like Adriano.
you know who doesn't get their flowers enough? Pato.
Because he shouldn't get his flowers. No.
I'm a fan of his, man.
He shouldn't get his flowers.
It's a solid brother right there.
Nah.
It's a solid brother.
Nah.
Telling you.
He was just like had a really good year when he was 18, and that was it.
yeah, he didn't really.
Nah.
I mean, there was
I'm
a lot of
fan.
injuries in his career, which like,
Yeah,
killed
don't
him,
do that.
But I mean,
Even Kaká, he won the Ballon d'Or at AC Milan and went to Madrid, and
yeah, the injuries killed him as well.
Yeah.
I would
He's one of
say
the best ever.
below average
In my
Madrid career.
opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely one of the best ever, in my opinion.
Really?
Kaká.
Huh.
I have a lot of reverence for the Brazilians. But I have Jamaican parents, so.
What about Fred though?
I said Brazilians.
Yeah.
Yo.
They got a fake passport, bro. Come on.
That's so deep.
What about Neymar? Is he like what?
So-
I heard a lot of different rumors. Like
Him to Newcastle was one of them. I heard.
yeah,
I heard him to Chelsea, him to United.
Newcastle would be crazy.
I feel like he might fit Newcastle style, but I don't know if Newcastle is big enough like a club that's big enough for him to
That
go
would
to. You know what I'm
be
saying?
Such.
That would be outrageous.
Wait, before we say this though, if you're in Newcastle, would you take Cristiano Ronaldo in the summer?
No.
No.
Okay. Back to the topic.
I think we all agree on that.
That was a quick one.
No, I would take him if I was Newcastle. But
Off the bench or something?
Mhm.
For like off the bench or like
I just wouldn't
If
spend
he-
that
if
much
he was
money
willing
on a
to come off the bench.
12th
38-year-old
man or
man.
something.
He's mad old. I'm not spending that much bread on somebody.
How much you
And
paying
his
him?
attitude sometimes ruins the locker room. Absolutely not.
he would mess up the chemistry. For
But
sure.
rumors that like he could have went to Arsenal in the middle of the season, or he wanted to go to Arsenal in the middle of the season. Which how are we gonna go from United to Arsenal?
How do you feel about this guy being like linked with Arsenal and City?
I'm not gonna lie. Like before I say this, I want to preface it with like that's still like my guy. That was the one that like
Say it.
he was my favorite player growing up.
Say it.
After Ronaldinho stopped playing. But he's definitely on a chasing relevancy tour right now, and it's getting kind of sad, bro. Like,
Yeah,
it's looking like, come on, bro. Like,
Just watch
you're just trying to like grasp at anything to keep your name. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even think he's doing it for the football anymore. It's just so he's not
irrelevant.
Cristiano
Yeah.
Ronaldo anymore. Like, I don't think he's able to like
Process
cope
that.
with like, yo, I'm not the guy no more. Like, it's fine.
I mean,
my
he's
G,
been like that for like 20 years.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
like,
saying? Imagine
you're-
having all that fame in the footballing world for.
I get it. Like
that
it's,
long.
it has to suck.
Yeah.
But like you're still you, my G.
Yeah.
Like you don't gotta. If you walk outside, people are gonna ask you for pictures. You don't have to be playing still. Like not even not playing, but like the moves he's making is just all over the place. Like oh, they almost won the league. I'm trying to go to Arsenal. Oh, I'll go back to Real Madrid. Like oh, I'll go to Saudi. They paying. Like it's just make up your mind, bro. Like you want the bread? Do you want the fame? What do you want?
Yeah, I mean, it sucks as a fan as well to see that too. Because
Yeah,
like,
I'm a real fan
like,
of it. So it's just like this flip floppy shit at the
yeah.
end is just like, bro, I'd rather
Like-
you just retire on your own merit then.
Cristiano Ronaldo is like
And flopping around, not begging, but looking
Yeah.
like, yo, I'll go to anybody who wants me. Before it was like, but before it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're in demand. Like, you're still in demand, but it's not the same. And I feel like he don't understand that.
Yeah, that is kind of tough to see, especially when
It's hard to
his
watch.
career has so many parallels with Messi, and Messi kind of ending his career with a World Cup and probably going to end up going back to Barcelona, maybe winning one last trophy with them. Like,
Or
it is
Saudi.
kinda- I mean, yeah. there's
And he would have a bigger contract. And,
But,
he's competitive, so he'd probably be tight about that.
yeah, he is competitive about that.
just, yeah. Messi's got a bigger pool. But,
Ye's
where do-
pool's nice.
Mine's just big is all I'm saying. But
Oh, damn, yo. That's a real
what Premier
niche
League
joke.
team do you think would fit Neymar the best? Like where do you think?
I'm like feeling. Like,
I don't think Newcastle would be like horrible.
I'm feeling
like,
Chelsea.
play-wise.
I don't know why, but I feel like Chelsea.
I feel like
To go do what?
if there's a lot
Or
of,
United,
there's a lot
honestly.
of links. Well, it's been this way for a
Nah.
while with Bernardo Silva leaving, and they said possibly PSG. I know he was at Monaco before. Maybe he really enjoyed his time in France because I feel like he's been flirting a little bit with PSG lately. So if he were to end up going to PSG, and of course it boils down to Pep, I could see Neymar having a great time at City. I can see that like adding a couple of years to his career, but it also
That'd
Does
be a
City
good
really
move.
want him though? That's
He
the
needs
thing.
that kind of system to flourish, though, I think.
Yeah, he
is that
does.
Going to,
Like Neymar at Madrid, I feel like he would do well there. Honestly, low key, him and Vinicius. I mean, obviously we want Mbappe and
I could see it.
João Cancelo. And
I like
we'll see
City.
who else.
City would be crazy. Oh my god, no, that's like the CP3 Kobe.
Get Jack
shit.
Grealish out of there. Put in Neymar.
That would be outrageous.
nah, but I wanted to ask you, and I wish Val was here. Just
It's too bad we can't afford him though. So
Budget
Jude
cuts,
Jude Bellingham is like basically like pretty much signed to Madrid now, and I just wanted to ask you as a Madrid fan, because I'm sure we talked about this like 15 times already. How are you feeling about the signing as two Madridiots? How you guys? Madridistas, excuse me. Sorry.
Listen,
How you guys feeling about it?
a young Brandon saw Raul, and that's why I'm a fan of theirs. Okay? It's not a choice; it just happened.
No, I mean,
like it.
I like it. They're really preparing themselves for the future. I mean, they have now Valverde. Well, they signed Modric and Cruz for another year, but they're gonna have Valverde. They're gonna have Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and Jude Bellingham. Like, I really think that's like all you really need. You know,
So
like
who's the odd man out with like so many world class midfielders?
after Cruz and Modric leave,
I mean, no, just starting with next year.
I can
One of
see.
them is, not, I mean, 2 or 3 of them is not going to get a lot of minutes.
Yeah, I
So-
think it's going to be next year. It's going to be Modric, Valverde, and Jude Bellingham getting majority of the minutes. Then when Modric and Cruz leave, I think it would be Tchouaméni, Valverde, and Jude Bellingham. I don't like. I'm big on Camavinga, but I like Tchouaméni better.
Okay.
Just personal preference, but hey, whoever's in form gets the minutes. That's really how those top
feel
clubs
you.
work. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like Pep, he doesn't play with that. He's like, yo, whoever's in form is the one that's playing. You know what I mean? So I think those top clubs, that's really how they operate. It's kind of like, all right, you're scoring, you're putting in good performances, you're gonna get the minutes. So I mean, any of those 6 players that are going to be there next year, and midfielders that are going to be there, 7 players, have the ability to be getting consistent minutes as long as they're putting in the performances. But they also know that there's a lot of pressure to be performing because next man up, you know. So
Yeah.
Of course.
I think he'll rise to the occasion though. Like I don't see him struggling.
I don't really see Jude.
No, I haven't seen enough of him.
I mean, I saw him a lot more in the World Cup than I saw him in Dortmund, like playing at Dortmund. But the fact that like Dortmund's could win a title this year and what would be the first one in like how many years that like Bayern hasn't won, 10 years, and he's about to come to Madrid. I think it shows that all right, maybe this kid is really the one, you know, like.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Speaking of
Okay.
that German league, with Bayern's loss yesterday, the league now is in Dortmund's hands. So he has the possibility to leave with the league title if they win their
It's a
last
good way to
2
go out.
games. But yeah, we'll see because it's
That's a big
currently
if.
0-0 in the 53rd minute. But
Or-
Augsburg does have a red card.
It would be nice to see somebody win besides Bayern. Like it's kind of like when Juventus like broke that streak of winning like the Italian league. Like
But I mean, Borussia Dortmund isn't exactly like a crazy switch up. I feel like if Wolfsburg,
I mean, anybody really winning the German league
Oh,
is
yeah,
a
that's
crazy
true.
switch up when you don't win it.
But
Nobody
Borussia
else wins it
Dortmund
in
is
10 years. You know.
Yeah. But this Dortmund team isn't even like one of those Dortmund teams that
It's
like I don't know what I still feel like nervous that they're not gonna win the league. Like they're gonna lose one of these last 2 games somehow.
why?
I don't know, something about them. It's like their forward line. I'm not super big on right now. Haller, I know he had a really good time at Dortmund at Ajax, but I don't think he's. I mean, obviously he was getting over cancer this season.
Yeah.
So he hasn't really worked his way back into form. I like Daniel Malin. He hasn't been playing that well. I mean, he started playing well towards the end of the season. They have Moukoko, who I think is a very overrated player.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
He's also, like-
29 years old.
He's 29, but he's actually on paper like
He's one of
18.
those, yeah.
But he looks like he's 29. But
And
yeah.
then,
Hey, I would do it.
yeah, but I really would like to see Marco Reus win like a title at Dortmund. I think that would just be cool for him as someone who was so loyal.
Yeah,
in
the
modern
last
era.
of that
Yeah,
group that
and
just
to
breezed.
Not to only win like the DFB Pokal Cup with them. It'd be cool to see him win a league. But
Hopefully they clinch it though. I'd like to see that for everybody involved on Borussia Dortmund. It's like a nice little farewell. Royce deserves it.
yeah. But I was just thinking with Jude Bellingham how he would be like the biggest English signing for Madrid since Beckham. I mean, not that Madrid signed so many English players in the
yeah.
first
Yeah.
place, but like
It's
I
usually
feel
it's
like
probably
really-
gonna be a big player when they do it.
yeah. So there was like Beckham, Bale, and Bellingham.
Beckham had more hype.
Of course, Beckham had.
Yeah, because
The
he
most
was
hype
like
out of all
a
them.
model at the same time. He was a football player. He was like
Right.
revolutionizing the game, you know,
Yeah.
Off the field.
off the field. Yeah,
One of the first superstars.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Sorry, what are you gonna say?
nah. I would just, like, after this topic, we can just maybe talk about like who, like, relegation battles for maybe some of the top leagues. Like, who do we think that? I know we predicted like certain teams would be relegated from the Prem, and it looks like Southampton's already been relegated, but Leicester City and Leeds still have a chance.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? With like 1 to 2 games, next Sunday is the last games, right? Yeah, season's already over. That's
it's
crazy.
the last,
Yeah, it is.
Looks like Nottingham Forest is in the clear. So congrats
after
to
beating
them.
Arsenal.
Yeah, they're beating Arsenal.
Bum ass.
Really. I don't know. I just keep thinking of it like transfer wise, how there's gonna be so many like good players you could get.
Leeds, Leicester,
Yeah,
Southampton.
Leeds, like you could pick
Yeah.
up like a Brendan.
The USA national team is about to get relegated from the Prem. Come on,
That's hilarious.
we can't have that happen.
I mean, it's going to.
Yeah, there's a lot of young talent on Leeds that is definitely going to get picked up.
I mean, if they win next week, and
I mean, Leicester City has a game at hand. Who they're playing?
I think Newcastle.
if Leeds wins next week, they
Yeah,
might be able.
maybe
And
not.
Everton loses, they can get Everton, I guess, down in that little danger area.
Yeah.
Chelsea
Yeah.
still has a game in hand too. That's crazy.
Like, the top 4 is already solidified in the Prem. We already know who's going to be Champions League football: Man City, Arsenal, Newcastle, Manchester United. Hopefully, Liverpool has that Europa League spot, and then Klopp said we're going to make Europa League our what you call it, our
If
league
we
for
lose and
next
they
year or something
win
like
and it's
that.
on
Like,
goal
he's like, all right,
difference,
we'll settle for Europa League, I guess, this year. You know, he said there was some report. I forget exactly what he said, but he was just kind of just saying like, our Europa League will be like the trophy that we want to win next year, I guess.
Damn.
But I mean, they can compete easily, I'd say, for the Prem next year too. So
Who, Liverpool?
I think
that's
so.
who I got as like one of the bigger.
Dark horse or like definitely got it.
Nah, not
Oh.
definitely, but I think they'll.
I think they'll.
They should give City
14th.
a good push.
That's my prediction.
14th, gotcha. Probably still 1 point ahead of United. I wanted to ask you who you thought United's biggest best manager has been since Ferguson retired.
didn't we talk about this?
Mourinho.
I feel like we did.
We did.
Mourinho.
All right, so cut that part out.
Nah.
Mourinho.
Mourinho?
Mourinho.
What we should talk about is Pep. Is he the greatest Premier League manager ever now?
Not yet. Got to win the Champions League.
Once he wins the Champions League, though?
A Premier League?
No, I hear what you're saying, but he has to. Because everybody he's compared to is going to have one. And he has to be removed from the
After the
position for a few
season, I
years.
would say probably, yeah.
I just have to
I've
remove
never-
him from
I
the
could
position
never-
for a few years. Like,
Ferguson
be out of the Prem
did
for
it.
3 years, and then we can talk about it.
Ferguson did it in like 3 different decades.
You know
so
the
I
vibes.
can't. Huh?
You know the vibe.
Yeah, so I can't like. You know, he did it in. Especially because he brought United from like a darker place where they were like finishing
and he
mid-table.
replicated his success with different players and different teams,
especially
every
in different eras. Where like before, you know, Wenger really like revolutionized
Arsene
the English
Wenger.
game. So when like Wenger came through, he won like 2 or 3 league titles, but like
and then never
Ferguson
again.
was able to fight back against that. And then it was Chelsea that came in with Jose Mourinho kind of changing things a little bit. And then Ferguson was able to fight back against that.
And then City. And he fought back at the end and then retired.
Yeah, exactly. I think he knew what was coming. So he was like,
Nah, he started writing on the wall. I don't think he. I think he could have stayed successful, but I think he actually just also was just like, all right, listen, I'm old. Dog.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
My jaw hurts. I'm chewing those damn gum. Like,
So for this City team that there is currently right now, like where would you rank it? I think it has to be considered like one of the best teams. Like
this specific lineup of people, like this year's team.
Ever?
This year's team?
Yeah. From like goalkeeper to center forward, like
winning a World Cup makes you one of the best goalies. I'm bugging.
Ever? I don't know. When I think of ever, like in our time, I think of like the
I just think
Barcelona team
and the Madrid teams that have like
Ronaldo and
I
think we're too close
Messi,
to this City
Xavi,
team right now.
Yeah, I mean,
like 5 years from now, maybe we'll say that.
Great year. I don't think the Premier League has been super strong this year. Obviously, winning the Champions League is huge, but yeah, I don't know where I quite put them yet.
Yeah, I just think it's too soon.
I don't know. I look at this team and I'm just like, I see like something special, and I'm like Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, like those are all top world-class midfielders, like kind of like what Madrid had when they were very successful with Cruz, Casemiro, Modric. I'm not comparing them to them because they're obviously their success lasted a lot longer, but like their performances that they've been putting in like have been world class.
No, they're having a good year, great year, of course, but
not at that level.
I can't quite put them with the other teams I'm thinking about of yesteryear.
Not yet, anyway.
And yeah, I'm interested to see how that midfield's going to evolve with just De Bruyne getting older and Bernardo Silva possibly leaving.
Gundogan,
Rodri
too.
possibly leaving. Yeah, Gundogan, this is it for his contract. And Barcelona's linked with him. So, I mean.
How old is he already? He's probably like at least 30.
Yeah, I think he's right at 30 or 31. So, you know, what is City going to do? Start playing Calvin Phillips?
Yeah. It's really shocking to me how, like, Germany didn't make it out of the group stage for the World Cup, considering, like, I feel like they have, like, so many
good players.
Yeah, so many good players and talent. But
happens.
That
definitely happens.
Did I saw a report on like a new Champions League format?
Wasn't 2014 the year that Spain didn't make it out of the group? When like Robin van Persie flying header. Was that the year?
The Netherlands header.
That was we won.
Yeah, that was 2014.
Yeah, 2014.
Yeah.
They had like
against Netherlands.
Some of the greatest midfielders, players of all time on that Spain team, and like they just passed their expiration date.
Yeah, I mean,
where like it is different for the Germany team because like they still had a lot of young players who should be getting out of the group, but you know they were in a tough group.
That is true. They were in a tough group. At one point, Costa Rica was coming out of that group.
96 teams in it. Germany will probably be able to make it out of the group stage.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, the next one's 48, right?
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I saw the Champions League is extending too. I don't know.
Eventually, it's just going to be like a little World Cup where it's just held in every country around the world.
That would be
every
cool.
country's going to be able to participate.
That's so much flying.
18 hours to play a game. Like, that's where things are heading.
It's ridiculous.
Because everybody needs a participation trophy.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually hand out your participation trophies.
Oh, God.
Imagine.
I would just stop watching.
And you got the players posting on IG.
Yeah, of course. You were saying,
I made it to the World Cup.
12th place and still be invited to the White House.
Oh, gosh.
You know what I'm saying? El Caso Blanco. For those of you non-Spanish speakers, that's the
What do you mean, La Casa Blanca?
Yeah, that's what I said.
El Caso Blanco? Oh, jeez.
There's only 2 real Spanish speakers on the podcast. We know who those 2 are.
Yeah, you giving Valente Spanish speaking?
Valente.
Because you know he had to take Spanish twice in college.
And I had to learn Spanish. Well, I know a lot of Spanish. A good amount. I've been taking it since 2nd grade. And I had an interest.
Why do you know that? Why do you know so much Spanish, bro? You like Ghost.
I had an interest in Spanish in college. And then I just took it since second grade.
An interest in Spanish.
All right, so basically, the pod is ending right now. My bad. It's my fault. I have a game. We got a semifinal.
Tell 'em.
So, if we win, we got the final today. So, I got to slide. Love y'all. It's been real. I know it's kind of short this week, but next week, we bike. We might be able to afford Chris next week, so we're going to start. Comment below if you want Chris. I don't know.
Send us $5 to the cash app if you want Chris.
We're gonna start a GoFundMe for Chris. We're gonna start a Keep Chris on the Pod GoFundMe. If he gets to $15, he can stay on the pod. Alright, yeah, it's been real.
Wait, Chris is only worth $15?
Hey, man.
I
ain't
that's
say
what he
that.
should have done. He should pay us to be on the pod.
He should pay us to be on the pod.